We need.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts, Jeremy Barker, Aaron Arms, and Chad Niddle.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the YouTube Now Back Row Fantasy Show with me, Bark, and to my left is Arms.
Good morning.
And on my right is Nit,
Yeah.
who literally ran 48 miles to the show today.
All I got to
5.5.
I just have to ask were you walking out to get in your car and there was like a bear at the door and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you."
No, it's a conscious decision. I made a conscious decision to run 5.45 miles.
Two things I'm running from in
Insane.
Ohio: a bear, pack of wolves. Everything else I'll take my chances with.
It was really dark.
Pack of wolves.
It was dark and scary.
Like, I'm fine with one wolf. Let's do this, wolf. I'm just giving up an arm and we're going to town. A bear, it's got me. I mean, and a pack of wolves. I mean, there's too many.
It was fun.
I'm not saying I could take a wolf. Let's just clarify that. But I don't like to run.
As I was running down a 4-lane highway in the dark,
regretting every second.
I wasn't sure if I was doing something illegal, so it was kind of exciting.
I think you are doing something legal running down the highway.
But I get in the grass every time a car would come by. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the jurisdiction there. Like, can they?
Can you jaywalk on a highway?
I don't know what kind of human runs 5 miles to record a podcast.
A dedicated one, Jeremy.
You know what? Call Guinness. It's a very specific record, but it might be a record.
Okay, that's what I was getting ready to say. The beer or the World Book of Records?
I would rather have the beer, but I think it's the same company, isn't it?
Yeah.
Guinness?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty
I guess it
confident.
makes sense.
Pretty confident it is. I think that's how the record book came about. Was basically people at Guinness saying, "You know what? Over a beer, I wonder what the world record for this is," and they made a book. I love that book. By
It's a
the
good
way.
book.
Like little tiny snippets of things you could care less about. Like, how many swords can one swallow?
Well, it's 100% the most fascinating book of all time.
Oh yeah,
Like, you can't get bored with it.
exactly. Excuse me.
Have you heard of this, Barker?
Yeah, I just don't think I've read it. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, like, I know what the Guinness World Book of Records is. I know some things that are in it, but I don't know if I've ever had my hands on one and
I've
opened one.
They feel good in your hands.
I'm such a
Nice to
nerd.
flip.
Whenever I was younger, I would look forward to the new edition every year. And
I
I
didn't
just
get
flip through it. I'm like, oh man, is there a new world's tallest man? Nope, still Robert Waldo.
Hey, you know who's Robert? Yeah.
He's
We have a wide range of Guinness World Record fans here.
yeah.
Not super fan. I've heard about it and looked at it.
And I know about it, but have never touched the book.
Listen, during the Scholastic Book Fair, it was 1A on my list.
So,
I'm just saying.
Calvin and Hobbes here, man.
That
Calvin
some
and
new
Hobbes.
pencils, some erasers that didn't really erase anything. That was good. That was money.
yeah. You'd order them in 3rd grade and they would be delivered somewhere around your sophomore year of high school.
All about Calvin and Hobbes for me.
Dude, the kids go pick them up. Like, they bring home the wish list. The teachers are now putting how much money it is. By the way, apparently untaxed. And because I'm like, you know what? I'm adding up the taxes and giving her the extra money. We get all the change back. I'm like, well, that's not right. I'm just going to tell you right now. It was $14.98 worth of books here, and I gave you $17. So
Okay.
That's the way that goes. And you come back and your mom's like, "Where's your change from the book fair?" I ain't freaking got none.
oh, it's
I got none.
because my kid got some erasers and
Yeah.
some pencils that break immediately.
Brought home that slap bracelet
She
that
did.
goes around the wrist.
She did. She did. It
Make
was
feel like a
great.
transformer.
It's better than buying drugs with it.
Well, I mean, slap bracelets do lead to drugs.
They do.
You mean you cut yourself once and you're like, "I'm gonna rub some crack in that."
Hey, listen, the reason it leads to drugs because you spend the rest of your life chasing that high of the Scholastic Book Fair in 1st and 2nd grade.
Yeah, and the slap bracelet. Like, there's just nothing like that sound. And the only thing you can get that sound from now is big old rubber band around the arm.
Or slap bracelet.
Or a slap
Like
bracelet.
those things still exist.
Can you find them? Where they at?
I have one in my house.
Where'd you get it?
The Scholastic Book Fair. I've got a kindergartner.
So it's basically an instant tourniquet? Is that what you're saying? Like,
Yeah.
Why is the U.S. Army not using these? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Great idea.
Bicep
Instant
thigh
tourniquet.
slap bracelets. Leg wound. Get out the thigh bracelets.
Well, the problem is the thigh bracelet's like that long, so it's just carrying around a stick. I mean, how that just doesn't make sense.
We're men. We carry sticks around every day.
all right.
Okay.
A lot easier to keep the tube. All right. Anyway, moving
The
on.
tube. All right. So it's week 10. The season is officially half over, right, gentlemen? As of Thursday,
Over half over, yeah.
half over. As of Thursday.
Every team has played half their games or more.
Yes. And let's get right to it. One of the teams we talked about the other day, the Saints, signed Dez Bryant
It's an acquisition.
reportedly today. And first I want to know from you guys, do you want him on your fantasy team? And what's it do for the Saints real quick before we go full fantasy?
It's the best. He's now has the best quarterback he's ever played with. Okay, and it's oh yeah, you're really getting ready to argue with me that Tony Romo is comparable?
No. He does. He has the best quarterback he's ever played with.
But he's not.
Romo was really good. So, I mean, we've still seen him play with a good quarterback, but this should definitely be.
He won't draw any of the number one coverage. Like, if a team thinks that Dez is the biggest threat on that team, they're delusional. And with a great running back tandem behind him, like, Dez could have a really good last half of the year.
I don't see him doing much more than like a Willie Snead numbers, like just about 10 fantasy points a week. I agree, it's the best quarterback he's had, but it's the first time he's ever been a number two. And really in this offense, everyone wants to look at Drew Brees in this offense and still think it's like the 4 years ago Drew Brees. Like, they're committed to the run game. Dez is going to be the the third option in the passing game behind Kamara and Michael Thomas. So
not a bad place to be.
No,
New Orleans third option. That's.
But if you're in need of a wide receiver and acquire him on waivers, acquire him out of free agency, fantasy wise, I mean, low end wide receiver 3 is my high end for him, really. So, like, I don't know. I'm not going to bank on him doing a whole lot and leading me to a championship. But then again, he could make a playoff run for a team that's just solid everywhere else, weak at wide receiver.
He's great. He's going to be a very boom bust flex play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I picked him up for, basically. I picked him up when the rumors started with the Saints. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to throw in a waiver request. Why
it
not?
is possible that he's a low-end wide receiver 3. It's possible.
I mean,
on the Saints. If he went like to 28 other teams, I'd say no. But the Saints, it is possible that he's wide receiver 3.
In that league, I picked him up so I could possibly put him in maybe towards the end of the season for Golden Tate, depending on how he looks. Because we don't know what Golden Tate's new situation is. And I just traded Valdez-Scantling for Kirk Cousins. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I traded him for Kirk Cousins because I needed a quarterback desperately.
My God, you traded that straight up?
Going back to the future. You'll die at the hand of my sword.
Well, I've got Michael Thomas and Odell Beckham Jr. and Golden Tate. Like, Valdez-Scantling was not going to play.
Yeah, but I mean,
maybe, and it's a non-keeper, by the way.
That's a heck of a trade.
Indeed.
I'm just giving you props, man. Nice job turning in MVS to Kirk Cousins. Props to you.
Thank you. And, based on team need. Most leagues, I'd probably kept Scantling.
Yeah,
Scantling.
Back to Dez, though. I mean, at worst, if you got him, trade bait him or something like that. I mean, big name still. I mean, a lot of people might believe in this, believe he might be more of a wide receiver too. He might be able to package deals and upgrade at the very least. So
that's the hardest. There's 2 people in this league that trade, and it's the hardest league I've ever dealt with trading. I mean, our league, we've got, 8 people that just won't trade unless they're ripping you completely off?
Minimum of 8.
I mean, it's rough in our league, but this one it's a non-PPR, non-keeper, and like there's a premium on running backs, quarterbacks. The 50-point games that Mahomes is putting up, they were like 40-some in that league. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah. So what's this mean for the Saints going back to football, from fantasy to just football? I mean,
they're a better team.
But were they the best team in the league coming off the win against the Rams?
Certainly debatable.
certainly to be in the top 3 conversation. I mean, I think
I don't
took
give
them-
it to them yet because of the defense,
Yeah,
but debatable. I mean, they're in the conversation for sure.
they can score. They can control clock with anyone. They can score on anyone. Like I really like the Saints before Des Bryant. I think it's. I hope he's going to bring less of an ego that he's had in the past. But I think this is the environment to settle him down.
Yeah.
And sitting out half a season, he goes, man,
Humbled.
this might humbled. This might be my last chance in the league. You know, I don't know the contract details on that. Was it just through the end of the year?
I
or-
haven't seen.
I think it's 1 year.
Yeah.
So it's this year. Now, I think for the Saints move, I think what this was is, so you look at the Rams, they're about to get Talib back. Okay.
Yeah.
So they've been pretty torched, by at least one receiver per game. And if you put Talib on Michael Thomas whenever he comes back, if that becomes, if he reaches his own old form and can slow down Thomas, Marcus Peters has been getting just blown away. I mean, people are just abusing that Rams pass defense. So
that we thought was going to be so good, but it's
maybe-
because Talib's down.
yeah,
so.
maybe the move here is that now we've got someone who's a definite, viable, game-breaking number 2 receiver.
Yeah. So that when they rematch up again,
There you go.
say these two teams match up again in the NFC
Championship, most
championship,
likely.
with the Rams at full strength, you're still going to have, a Dez on the second corner.
Yeah.
And Michael Thomas can do what he does against Talib, and that'll be a nice little battle. So
Exactly.
both teams kind of get reloaded here.
Yes.
Yeah, and not to mention, I mean, this is Dez gets a shot at a ring.
And
I mean, it's a great signing for everybody.
fully healthy. Like, he's got no nicky-knack, banged-up injuries. He's got, there's 7 games to play for him?
Dude, if he does anything out of the ordinary to cause disruption in that locker room, they should just cut him.
Oh yeah,
They will.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think you're right in him being humbled and realizing he has a shot at the ring.
yeah,
play hard.
Keep your head on for possibly 10 games. Mm-hmm. Keep your head on straight through the rest of the regular season and through the playoffs, and you might come out of this with a ring. Show teams you still got something in the tank, and sign with another contender next year for another ring, possibly. Be a perfect scenario for him, which is unlikely, but we'll see.
We'll see.
So,
The future's in front of us.
is.
the other big thing that happened, Le'Veon Bell spotted in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Finally.
He said farewell to Miami.
With a little one of these little spirit fingers, like, farewell, Miami.
Thanks for my extended vacation.
Here I am, like, please stay in Miami and play for Miami and give us something to be excited about. Not going to happen.
So what's this do for if Le'Veon Bell, let's say he returns to play next week? What's
This week,
Well,
week 10.
No, he's not going to play this week.
All right.
There's just no way.
No.
He still hasn't reported to the team, but let's say that he comes back week 11 against the Jaguars. What's that do to James Conner?
You know where I've been on this. Le'Veon Bell's the best running back in the league, has been for a few years now. But
What has James Conner done wrong, though? I mean, that's where
I'm
that
on
goes
that.
to.
Nothing.
I'm on that bandwagon. That's where I was going with that. Like I don't know what you do. I
yeah.
don't know what you do.
Yeah.
It's going to be a weird locker room environment. You got a 2-headed monster. That's all I can say. I mean,
I think our combined collected opinion on this should just be justifiable in that we have no idea what they're going to do. Lev may not want to hurt himself, so he may not want to play. He may want to showcase himself for teams. Pittsburgh may want to sit him because of what he's done. Pittsburgh may forgive him and give him the rock 20 times. There's so many scenarios, and there really is not one that stands out amongst the others. I'm just interested to see what happens.
you can make an argument for or against any of the arguments. So, I mean, it's one of the weirdest situations that we've seen, if not the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Just because the Steelers are in prime position to make the run at this division title, but it's they could do it with James Conner. But then again, are you getting better with Lev?
Oh, you could definitely do it with both.
I mean,
Like, I feel like you are, but as of right now, James Conner has matched Le'Veon Bell's career high in rushing touchdowns. Right now.
Hey,
we're going in.
Yeah,
It's week 9. The highest Le'Veon Bell's ever had before is 9 rushing touchdowns.
And
now
again,
he's not getting it done in the air, yardage wise and reception wise. He is, but he's not getting the touchdowns in the air that Le'Veon used to get.
Man, it'd be scary if they went James Conner, like committed to a James Conner in the workhorse role,
Yeah.
and then brought in Lev for third downs. Are you kidding me?
Give me some I formation.
Like,
Give me some I formation.
Hey, dude, running back on both sides of the quarterback. Let's do this.
Give me that.
on your
Right.
third and mediums, third and
On
longs,
every play.
dude. It
Run
Listen,
three wide.
in the backfield. Yeah, Lev, Connor, and then you look forward. Juju, Antonio Brown. That's terrifying.
good line. I mean, dude, the Steelers have an opportunity to turn this weird, funky, negative situation into something that is absolutely scary,
Unheard of.
unheard of. Just absolutely, this could be an elite, the premier offense in the league.
We might
and
look-
that's standing up against the Saints and their running passing attack, Mahomes and them and company out in Kansas City.
Might be the most dominant duo since Larry Johnson, Jamal Charles, whenever they played together. I think Larry Johnson and Priest Holmes played together for a minute, but going even further back, a scarier duo was Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson. This is scarier than that.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah,
if they
just
play
telling-
their, if they play their cards right.
Yeah, I think as much of a Steelers hater as I am, being a somewhat Bengals fan, I kind of hope they get it right. I mean, it would be nice to see them turn a negative situation into something we haven't seen since Marcus Allen, Bo Jackson. I mean, it'd be awesome.
It would turn the league up on its head. There is no better running back duo than the possibility of that running back duo anywhere in the league.
I mean, you could make the argument of Kamara and Ingram, but Ingram hasn't looked that great this year.
Yeah, but why just put James Conner on the bench? I'm past
You can't.
everything.
You
All
can't.
my rants over it. You can't. Like, I'm past it. I get it. They can commit to the two guys in the backfield at the same time, or James Conner early, and Le'Veon Bell is the most terrifying third down back anyone's ever seen.
It is. Now, for the sake of us trying to do our start-sit episode and then possibly trying to squeeze in a
Grade
the
the
trade,
trade.
which we would love to do, but that is going to we're going to try it. So let's just.
It's the not so obvious plays of the week, brother.
All right. There you go. The Hawkster is back. And let's dive right in, knock these out, do another episode, and give Fantasyland all kinds of goodness for week 10.
Dude, I got some heat over here.
Bring the heat.
Compliments.
Nothing like your YouTube heat from the last episode, right?
Right.
Okay, bring the heat.
All right, dude, my hit of the week, I'm going to stay with Baker Mayfield, man. I like what he's done. I like their progression, getting rid of Hugh, loosening up the offense a little bit, going up against an Atlanta defense that's giving up a ton of yardage in the air. I like Baker Mayfield as my hit of the week, man, coming up out of the bottom half of NFL starting quarterbacks and challenging the top 10. I think he can have a good game on the ground and throw for 250 yards and a couple touchdowns. Play Baker Mayfield if you don't have another option.
I'm going to stay in Ohio on my quarterback not so obvious start of the week. Give me some Andy Dalton this week. I know that A.J. Green could be out, but they're facing a Saints team that we just talked about lacking the one thing in its defense. They let teams score. Tyler Boyd is good enough to fill that number one role this week. John Ross, if he plays, is good enough to burn somebody for one deep ball. And if
Let's not get carried away. I'll take somebody else, just not John Ross.
and listen, if they,
Uzama ain't bad.
I don't know exactly who they would throw into that lineup, but Josh Malone could be a sneaky DFS play.
I'm
going to
go with Josh Malone over John Ross because John Ross is just hot garbage. Like,
when he plays, he is a threat to score. He showed something this season. I'm not saying start him in fantasy. He's not a sleeper of mine this week or anything, but like for the Bengals, for Dalton to be successful, a guy that could
Stretch field, take
stretch
a safety,
the field.
take a safety out of the
Exactly.
play.
I'm not saying John Ross is going to score. I'm not saying he's even going to catch a ball, but with him on the field, you have to account for that speed. And Tyler Boyd and Josh Malone and maybe even Uzoma to that effect could have a big game, and Dalton could have a big game.
I'm with you. Real quick on the John Ross thing. There's value to a guy who can go up the field and at worst take one guy out of the play and you play 10 on 10 behind him. At best, take a safety and the corner out of the play. Isolate two players. Now you're playing with house money. You're playing a player up on the inside of the offense. So, I mean, John Ross does bring a little bit of an element to that offense. Just not a fantasy threat.
He's fast.
Eyes.
The problem with John Ross is if you played him, you could end up with 2 touchdowns or 0 points.
Oh, yeah. Or negative points.
Like those are your options. You're not going to get 10 receptions for 120 yards and a touchdown. You're going to get a touchdown or nothing. So, my not so obvious start this week is actually going to be Alex Smith. Kind of the same way that the Saints get torched. So did the Bucs, but worse than anybody. They've allowed 22 passing touchdowns so far this year.
Didn't we say somebody was going to take the quarterback against the Bucs every single week, or tight
end,
ender? Maybe every skill position.
Quite possibly. But Alex Smith, mobile. The defense is reeling, obviously, for various reasons, and it just got worse down there in Tampa Bay with the loss of Quan Alexander. So give me Alex Smith to build a little bit more of that connection with Josh Dotson and get a couple touchdowns this week.
Yeah. Moving over to the sits, the not-so-obvious sit of the week, I'm going to go Carson Wentz here going up against Dallas. I know Dallas isn't a good team collectively, but they do have a good defense, very active linebacking core, good secondary. I'm going to go ahead and sit Carson Wentz if I have another option. They're giving up like 8 passing touchdowns on the season.
Wentz has allowed 10 total the
Cowboys
have allowed 10 total passing touchdowns so far this season
through 9 games, through 8 or 9 games. So I mean they're only averaging giving up 1 passing touchdown per game. Trying to install Golden Tate in this offense. Who knows if they're going to force feed him to the tune of canceling out some of the better options they have in Alshon and Ertz. I think it's just going to be a weird game for Philadelphia. And Dallas is they're playing inspired football on the defensive side. Yeah. They're just getting no production from Dak Prescott in that offense. So I expect Dallas to come out and be on fire on defense. Wentz and company having a kind of an off day, to say the least. I'm sitting Carson Wentz if I have a better option. If I have a different, legitimate option at quarterback.
Give me a running back start of the week there, Nick. Or hit, as you like to call it.
You want to so we're going through the hits?
Well, yeah, I've got a good sounder for our sits.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
The Macho Man needs his time on the air.
I was so excited, man. I was so excited. But I'm actually excited about my hit of the week at running back. I'm going off, not completely off the wall, but I think Tariq Cohen is going to have a monstrosity of the game against Detroit in their putrid.
Thought about it once. Monstrosity can be construed 2 ways.
Yeah, monstrosity
could be great, could be disastrous.
True.
Maybe he's going to be my sit of the week too.
All right,
having a monstrosity of a game.
I like it.
I think he's going to have an awesome game.
You can never be wrong with that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going Tariq Cohen though, just based on involvement in the passing game. I think they're going to make a calculated effort to get him the football in space against this weak linebacking core, this weak secondary. They're just going to create ways to get the ball in his hands, fly sweeps, screens, split him out wide, throw him quick passes. Tariq Cohen, I got him with like 7 receptions, 75 yards, get in the end zone, chip in some more yardage on the ground.
So far, so good. No double picks. Arms, hopefully I don't screw you on this one, but Matt Breida is going to be my not-so-obvious start of the week here. He has not had a big game in quite a while, and he gets the atrocious New York Giants this week. Raheem Mostert is out for the season. Alfred Morris has shown he does nothing. Matt Breida is probably going to get the lion's share of the carries, even though you don't play for Carry-On's Lions. He's going to get the lion's share of the carries in San Francisco against a really bad team, and a team that Nick Mullins might be able to get up on very quickly.
Again?
Maybe. Who knows?
They might. I mean, they just embarrassed the Raiders under the cannon that Nick Mullins has.
Absolutely. But I look for Breida to have 1 on the ground and 1 in the air touchdown-wise this week. And shout out real quick to the Dynasty Dads podcast that just released an episode, and the title of that episode is What is a Nick Mullins? Good title. But yeah, Matt Breida is my guy this week, running back, not so obvious start.
The question mark you have with Breida,
A lot of them, mostly.
It's his health.
Yep.
He's banged up going into, the Friday practice every week, and it's questionable. Like, is he going to play? How's he going to be? Now, the big plus back to his side is Mostert was looking about like must start, where he must start, not Mostert.
Oh,
because
Play on words.
Look at
he
that.
was
You put a little mustard on that one.
he was the better running back there. But now that he's hurt and out for the season, I mean, they've got to give it to Breda. They have to.
Do you think that little Caesar's pizza, the cheesy, better Mostis thing, is named after Mostert?
No.
Okay.
I'd almost guarantee not. But I'm not going to put it by you.
Okay.
So
Who you got? Who's your hit?
listen, Tevin Coleman, I don't buy that he's the great running back that he looked like last week. He had 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. But I do believe in bad defenses, and the Browns have the worst rushing defense in the league. They've allowed 12 touchdowns on the ground so far this year. That's
a lot.
That's league tops. So give me some Tevin Coleman to have a similar week to what he had last week, and just destroy the Browns on the ground.
Browns on the ground. Give me some wide receiver love, Nit. Not so obvious start for Nit.
Cue up your MVS thing.
Oh man, I don't know where that's at.
Marquez.
Oh, you just want it. You just want it
just
voice
say
done.
it for
I guess
me.
I'm that talented. Weighing in at 225 pounds, topping out at 6'5". Marquez Valdez
Scantling.
You will die by the hand of my sword.
I love that part. I'm sorry.
Mix.
I know.
Like
It's so
going back
stupid.
to
I just love it. You'll die by the end of a song.
I don't know. That's
Jaleel Scott, you are on IR. Earlier in the offseason, I told you would die by the hand of my sword.
dude. I'm going MVS. I'm going to start calling him MVS.
It's like a pharmacy.
He needs a nickname, but the guy's done nothing but be a lethal downfield option for Aaron Rodgers. And at this point, going up against Miami, let's just go ahead and say going up against Miami, don't necessarily believe in that defense as much as I did early. But what I want to say, even more than going up against Miami's secondary,
Defense stinks.
yeah, going up. The reason I'm playing Marquez Valdez-Scantling is because a desperate Aaron Rodgers is the most scary Aaron Rodgers. You see it at the ends of games. Whenever they're down, he makes plays. I think the ball is going to go to Devontae Adams still, but they're going to Marquez Valdez-Scantling is going to get more looks, more targets this game. Instead of having his 3 or 4 receptions for 100 yards, I think he's going to have 5 or 6 receptions, 150 yards, get in the end zone. Really, really, really like Marquez Valdez-Scantling this week.
If I had one of those golden buzzers from like America's Got Talent or whatever show that is, you saying Aaron Rodgers in a desperation game going to light it up, boom, gold confetti. That's a fantastic call.
They have the Packers have to have this game. It goes without saying. They know they can own this game, and I think they're going to come out and absolutely blow out the Miami Dolphins through the air.
Okay.
In support of your statement, Valdez-Scantling, in the last 4 games, when he doesn't reach 100 yards, he does get in the end zone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you get 100 yards or a touchdown.
He's more than likely to give it to you one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get you home one way or the other. So.
He's going to take you all the way home.
Take me home tonight.
Oh, also Geronimo Allison out indefinitely,
Yeah,
so
that-
that moves him into the solidified number 2 role.
Hey, thank you, Arms.
Hey.
I did forget to say that. Yes, IR'd for the year, right?
I don't think is he out for the year?
He's out for the year.
I knew he was out
Core-
indefinitely.
Core injury.
Okay.
And again, not just Valdez-Scantling. Keep an eye on St. Brown. Keep an eye on him. He could be a cheap DFS flyer. Could be that guy that's like 3 for 50 every week that you run out of money and he's your option. Never know.
I feel like Valdez-Scantling is going to be cheap. I haven't checked the price on him yet, though.
Maybe for another week.
Yeah.
But my not so obvious start of the week, a wide receiver. I've picked on this team all season long as far as their passing defense goes. Pittsburgh's passing defense still atrocious. The Panthers are a good team. Cam has looked like a very good quarterback this year, like he's shown he can do in the past.
42 points last week.
Yes, and the rookie wide receivers are starting to come on a little bit.
Curtis Samuel was a
handful of them.
second-year guy. I just want you to know that.
No. DJ Moore this week. I think you can start DJ Moore safely. I think DJ Moore is a guy that if you are on the fence with some guys that have underperformed that started the season out hot, I'm going to go as far to say Keenan Allen versus DJ Moore?
No.
Okay, I won't do it. But
No,
DJ Moore, I think
I'm not
you
gonna
can.
let you say that.
I think you can start him. I think you can play him at the flex easily. And I think if you're weak at wide receiver, you can put him in as a wide receiver 3 this week. I think DJ Moore is going to have his best game as a pro.
Chalk it up. I agree with that.
I mean, what, get 60 yards? Oh, I guess he got 90 2 weeks ago. My
Sorry,
bad.
I forgot that Curtis Samuel's on that team.
Hey, I'm just saying,
He's
they're all,
he
what a
is
lethal-
electric. He is electric.
they're so interchangeable. Like, they're just the same guy running different routes.
Electric Curtis.
So the Rams this year have got torched by Jared Cook, 180 yards week 1. Mike Williams a few weeks later for 81 and 2 touchdowns. Adam Thielen for 135 yards and touchdown. Diggs, same game, 123 yards. Ricardo Lockett and David Moore. Lockett had 98 and a touchdown. David Moore had 2 touchdowns that game. Emmanuel Sanders had 115 touchdowns.
Would you just give us your
George
hit?
Kittle has 98 and a touchdown.
Yeah, what are we trying
Devontae
to get to
Adams has
here?
133 yards, and Michael Thomas embarrassed them last week.
Somebody's using our free subscription to Stat Route.
Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin, I think, only has 1 touchdown so far on the year. Or, excuse me, no touchdown so far on
Yeah,
the year.
he hasn't
I
got
think
in the end zone yet.
This is the week, because you got to the point with Doug Baldwin, you've been sitting him because he's done nothing for you. Now's the week that he gets back over that triple-digit threshold. He's going to break 100 this week, possibly get into the end zone.
Love it. Love it. I've been waiting for Dougie Fresh to get healthy and break out. They need him. Go get it. I mean, this is his opportunity to have his big game. Hey, I've always been a Doug Baldwin fan. It's time for him to get on track. I believe it's going to happen this week also.
A couple guys just to keep an eye on. Not saying that I wouldn't take any of these guys over Baldwin, but Cooper, the Eagles have allowed the sixth most yards to wide receivers this year. And Josh Dotson just getting a little bit more trust built up with Alex Smith. I'm not ready to start him yet, but
Just a little
it's getting there. If you're getting desperate and you've got a bye week.
Let's knock out these tight ends, not so obvious starts of the week, and run through our sits and do a grade the trade.
All right. My tight end going to be Jordan Reed going up against that Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense that just lets people run free in the secondary. Alex Smith, your hit of the week at quarterback. I think a lot of his success is going to go through Jordan Reed, the interior passing game. Dink, dunk, Alex Smith, a lot of completions, a lot of them going to Jordan Reed. Go ahead and play him with confidence. He's been a guy who's been floating around, been fairly consistent, a weak, consistent tight end. I think this is a week to have a big game, get to 20 points or so.
Hopefully, if you have Jordan Reed, you did get Vernon Davis because Reed's a little bit nicked up. One of them's going to have a big game, though. And if Reed's playing, it's going to be Reed.
I'm going way left field on this one. So the Patriots are they're good. The Patriots are really good. And I'm not going to say Gronk.
No, I know.
Am I taking your guy?
Yeah, you are.
How in the world
Go
could
ahead,
you?
go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead and say Johnny Smith.
Janu. Janu Smith actually had I'm not going to say a decent game. He didn't do much, but he finally did something last week for the Titans, and they're going to be behind the whole game. And this will help us get through these quicker. You just agree with me on Janu.
I've got an up and down guy that I'm going to play.
Fine. Jonnu Smith, I think this is the week that he at least gets in the end zone and at least gives you a 10-point game. Here we go again in the tight end landscape. That's good enough to start.
Probably a top 10 finish if you get a touchdown out of your tight end.
The three worst defenses against tight end: Tampa Bay, the Pats, and Carolina.
Jonnu.
I'm going to go this week with the outlaw Jesse James.
Not Vance McDonald.
You know, I had Vance McDonald. And I had him wrote down. I literally just changed it. He's got a little bit more action the last few weeks. I do like Jesse James.
Jesse
James. All right. Well, that was wonderful and quick. Quick hits this week.
Ooh, yeah. It's not so obvious. Sits of the week.
Thanks, Macho Man. We highly appreciate that. Nit, you've already gave us your quarterback.
It's Wentz.
You want to run through all of yours?
All of Wentz again, or just all?
Your whole sits of the week?
All right, Wentz at quarterback, TJ Yeldon / Fournette. Fournette's going to be back. I don't believe in anything that's going to happen there against Tennessee, a very good run defense. And we kind of alluded to it. Well, not really alluded to it. I'm kind of a believer in what Tennessee's doing in controlling clock. trying to slow down the game. Well, get the clock going, but slowing down the game on the offensive side. Not a whole lot going on for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Run game, no TJ Yeldon, no Leonard Fournette if he's back. Wide receiver, going to stay away from Galladay. Hot name of late going up against the Bears. The problem is the Bears pressure the quarterback. That line hasn't been good. I think it's going to be a struggle without Golden Tate. Also, we're going to see what Galladay can do in a number one role. And I think it's going to be the learning curve is going to speed up on him a little bit.
He's going to be drawing the best coverage now. They can shade to him a little bit versus Marvin Jones, and they took away one of the options. Like one of the main coverage options is now gone with Golden Tate being out of there.
As much as I like Galladay, I'm not indicting him or crucifying. I'm just saying this is a bad game for him. The adjustment on his part to number one coverage plus to me, the Bears have the best pass rush, best front seven in football. I think Matt Stafford's going to be harassed all day. My tight end to sit, still Gronk. Even if he plays finally, going up against that Tennessee defense. Do I have Tennessee? I don't know. Maybe I said Yeldon versus Tennessee. Anyway, I know Gronk's going up against Tennessee. Bayer's going to be all over him. Bayer's one of my favorite tight end coverage safeties. Why did I say TJ Yeldon against Tennessee? I don't know. Back to the TJ Yeldon, Leonard Fournette thing. Don't know who's going to play. There. Yeah. That's why I'm sitting him.
Yeldon plays Colts.
And Fournette's scary anyways. Like you start him, he goes out midway through the first quarter. It just hurts. I'm not starting Fournette until he shows me a couple games in a row that he's going to stay on the field.
It's a crowded backfield now.
Crowded backfield.
Because if he looks slow, they're just going to put in Hyde and play Yeldon the way they've been playing him.
Yeah.
Like there's too many mouths to feed in the backfield. Same way with their receiving.
All good backs.
Yeah,
they're all good backs. They're all decent fantasy backs whenever they're given the opportunity. It's just now it's going to be a kind of confusion there. We know what's going on with the passing game. And my bad, going up against the Colts.
And all of them
the
are
Colts
volume
are getting
guys.
Colts have a good linebacking core too.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about the confusion there.
All good.
You made me go too fast.
Did you do your tight end?
Yeah, Gronk. That's where Gronk against Tennessee. I love Kevin Byard and what they're doing. And again, Gronk's another one of those guys, kind of like Fournette. He gets tweaked a little bit. He's probably coming off the field because that offense is just as good without Gronk as they are with him for the first time in a very long time.
Well, Arms, just so I know how much time I'm going to have, I'm going to let your stat spewing ass go ahead.
Sorry?
Curtis Samuel this week.
All right, I'm sitting Luck versus the Jaguars. They've only allowed 9 passing touchdowns quarterback so far this year. There's no receivers to beat the defensive backs the Jaguars have. So steering away from Luck, even though he's pretty much kept you afloat for the biggest part of the year. I'm sitting all Lions running backs. I don't care which one you've got. There's not going to be a touchdown vulture. There's not going to be anyone getting any action out of the backfield. Yeah, Kerryon Johnson was the main name here, but the Bears still have not allowed a rushing touchdown to a running back this year, and the fourth fewest yards allowed. As far as wide receiver, I'm going to go with Alshon. The reason being Dallas has only allowed 6 passing touchdowns to wide receivers this year, and Dallas wants to control the clock. That's the biggest thing with them. They're going to try to establish with Zeke.
Shorten the game, let the clock run.
Scramble a little bit with Dak. I mean, the game's going to be as short as humanly possible, and that's the reason the addition of Golden Tate, try to get him a few of the targets that maybe would have went to Alshon. I think he plays more of an Aguilar-type role, but you take 1 or 2 away from Alshon, 1 or 2 away from Aguilar, and both of them become a little bit less relevant.
And that's what I was going back to Wentz on. It's going to be a weird game for that Philadelphia offense trying to install Golden Tate. I agree with Alshon, even being an Alshon fan.
And I agree 100% with Gronk. The Titans have still not, to date, allowed a touchdown to a tight end. They have faced Ertz, they have faced Vance McDonald, Charles Clay, and Kyle Rudolph. No touchdowns to tight ends. Kudos
to that. Again, that comes back to Byard and that linebacking core covering them up, taking them out of the play. You doing any?
Yes. My not-so-obvious of the week quarterback, Stafford. You mentioned Galladay. Stafford it's just not going to be a good game for him.
You
against
took away
the
safety
Jaguars.
blanket.
The Bears.
Yeah. I'm sorry, the Bears. Playing against the Bears, it's just not going to happen this week. Kerryon's not going to have a good game. Galladay's not going to have a good game. Marvin Jones may be a bright spot because they do have to pass for some yards. But Stafford, definitely a guy that I'm sitting for a Nick Mullins or maybe even a Josh McCown who's starting for the Jets this week.
Oh, Lord.
I just don't trust Stafford this week.
Lord of mercy.
I don't trust him at all.
Lord of mercy.
Running back wise, Marlon Mack is sitting for me this week. I'm gonna buy stock in the Jags defense for the second half of the season. Marlon Mack's looked great for a couple games in a row. This is the point where he gets knocked down a peg. He'll come back from it, but he's not going to toast the Jaguars defense this week.
And if they're bottom up in the first half, they're not afraid to give the ball to Naheem Hines.
Yeah, I was
Not
about to
at all.
ask that. Naeem Hines could end up being your top fantasy back on the Colts this week, so weird situation there, too.
Yes. Wide receiver, Kansas City plays the Cardinals. Kareem Hunt's going to have himself a day.
Feast.
Kansas City's not going to have to throw the ball that much. They may anyways, because they don't like to take the brakes off, or put the brakes on, I should say. But Sammy Watkins has been good enough to start all season long. I think this is a situation where you sit him. I think it's going to be a run-heavy game on the Chiefs side after halftime. So I'm sitting Sammy.
I almost said to sit Mahomes because Mahomes struggles against elite corners.
You cannot
I didn't,
sit Mahomes.
but that is the Cardinals have a really good pass defense, mostly because you can run all over them.
Talking crazy, boy. You're talking crazy.
Just look at the two games that he's won against elite corners. Denver and the Jaguars threw one passing touchdown.
I agree he could have his worst fantasy day as a quarterback this year and still be startable.
Oh, yeah. Tight end, sit Gronk. Even if he does come back, I don't
Three-way.
trust the health at all.
Three-way on
with
Gronk.
Not even a little
He's
bit.
going to go for 2 touchdowns and 150 yards.
in a three-way.
By the way, with your comment on Hunt is your I don't care how much it costs in DFS, pay that for Hunt.
Pay that dude. Pay for him.
The Cardinals, until Connor torched the Browns last week, the Cardinals were the worst rush defense in the league.
Huh.
The only reason they didn't get worse is because there was a bye week.
Talking about Stack Guy.
Stack guy. Stack guy. So angry.
Not angry.
No, he's happy. That's Arms' happy face.
Yeah, this is a smile.
Yeah. It's so. It's
Stop looking at me.
It's not intimidating, but it's not comfortable.
No, it's definitely not comfortable.
Not comfortable at all. Let's wrap this one up. Not so obvious starts of the week. Week 10. Look at us giving you a 42-minute episode.
Dude, I've got a few defensive guys.
You better blow through them.
IDP hits of the. Let's just go hits of the week right now. I got a couple to toss in. I ain't going to say a lot about them.
Nice.
Jordan Poyer. The only guy who likes to throw to the other team more than Sam Darnold is Nate Peterman. All right, so
Bingo, bango, Jordan Poyer.
So Jordan Poyer started on the defensive line. Give me DeForest Buckner. I'm telling you right now,
Preach.
the Giants' offensive line would be better if there were literally road cones there. Because
DeForest
they
Buckner.
might trip over the road cones. The defensive line might trip over the road cones. Buckner might get 2 sacks. He's already got 5.5 on the year.
always said life is like a box of sacks.
Eli's been sacked 31 times, 3 sacks a game on average.
like a box
You gonna get there? You got a linebacker? You want me to throw in?
Linebacker, a lot of people probably miss this, but KJ Wright just came back off injury. Excuse me.
KJ.
Anyway,
he's good when he's on
KJ
the
Wright,
field.
and he's back to KJ Wright. He's number 18 overall linebacker the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. My hits of the week are going to be, hey, a little talk about Joey Bosa. Just monitor the situation. He's just doing like individual drills, doing some cut drill stuff like that. If he does play, I expect him to be productive right away against Derek Carr. Derek Carr's been sackable. I'm not saying he is. He's still very questionable. My hit of the week at linebacker going to be Levante David against AP and the Washington Redskins. To me, I think they established the run, and Levante David's going to be there to eat up tackles. Already talked about Byard against Gronk. Byard's going to eat him up, man. Also, he's been hot. Finally got his I think his first interception this past week, but led the league last year.
He's also throwing a touchdown this year, so
yeah,
that could be in play.
Kevin Byard's a very good safety. He's my hit of the week there.
Only because he beat me last week.
I've got a couple sits. Jesse Bates, right now, he's the number 4 overall year-to-date safety. But this is not a matchup with Michael Thomas. This is not a matchup with Alvin Kamara. And Drew Brees has only thrown 1 interception this year. I know he's decent in run support, but they're not going to keep feeding it to Mark Ingram. They'll let Kamara go outside if that's what's necessary. I'm going to sit Calais Campbell. Andrew Luck's only been sacked 10 times this year. The Colts are not going to be down. real bad in this game because Jaguars just aren't that good. So there's not a lot of, garbage time, everyone being able to tee off and get to Andrew Luck type sacks. So I don't think Campbell gets to the quarterback this week. And probably I can't believe I'm actually going to say to sit this guy, but Miles Jack. He does great against run-heavy teams. I know the Colts have had established success.
Established the run over the last few weeks, yeah.
But if it's not, they will straight abandon the run. They have no problem abandoning the run and putting it all in the arm of Andrew Luck. And to me, that's why you got to sit Miles Jack.
Yeah, I'll give you 2 sits of the week. Jarrell Casey for the Titans going up against New England. Tom Brady just don't get sacked, man. Jarrell Casey's been kind of solid all year long. I'd sit him. And I talked about Andrew Luck and that offense throwing the ball all around the field. I'm going to sit the Miami linebackers, who I think are pretty decent, and Kiko and Raekwon. I'd go somewhere else outside of those 2 guys if you got a different
plays
option.
The Jaguars, Chief.
Whatever. I don't care. I'm not the one who said that.
You know what?
I said Brady.
Oh, my bad.
Jarrell Casey against Brady. Maybe I'd said Luck, but I was saying Jarrell Casey.
You're right. You're good.
Tom Brady don't get sacked.
Look at
I know
this.
what you're saying.
No arguments. You guys are just
They're
getting
good.
along.
They're solid sits.
Solid sits. Stay away from them.
Good
no
night.
arguments. Love.
This concludes another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show.
Talking over
Thanks
Robert.
for listening, and be sure to give us a review.
Give us that review, baby.
See ya.